Forgive me, I'm asking another Connor question this week. One thing I thought it was interesting, Coach Allen mentioned this, and also the receivers all have, is just how catchable of a ball he throws. So that's one thing that stands out to him. What did you kind of notice about him sort of mechanically, and what is it about him that makes it, makes his pass, I guess, just easy for receivers to get to?
I mean, before you get to like the appropriateness of the ball, I mean, like he's a great spot hitter, and there's a couple throws in the game that every quarterback that ever plays in a football game wishes they could have back, but he's going to have the ball in area, more often than not. But I think he's got a really special gift to throw the appropriate ball. And I think that's a ball that's on time. It's the ball with the right amount of pacing so that guy can go run through it and create yak. We had a couple of those that we did miss, but I just think he throws a very appropriate ball. And to me, there's a lesson in that, and then there's an art to it, and so many young quarterbacks, we're trying to just throw this ball through somebody's soul all the time, but there's an art to that, and so I think that's one of his big skills is just he throws a very appropriate ball.
Hey, Coach, just want to get your thoughts. Cam Camper, what is it that you like most about him? What makes him have the ability to be as productive as he's been so far?
I mean, the biggest thing I like about him is he's just a great kid. He's got, great mom, comes from great people. He's a worker. He's a high achiever. I mean, anything and everything that you ask him to do on or off the football field, he does at a really high level. He takes care of himself, almost to a fault. When he feels like he's let the team down, like it hurts him. And so just how important the team is, how important his performance is to him, and the main thing is just outside of those white lines, how just everything's done the right way, and to me, when your life outside the white lines, you've got an unbelievable grasp and you're in great control of that, all the football stuff gets a lot easier. And so it's just great to see really good things happen to a great kid.
I wanted to ask about Donovan. Obviously, he's not just seeing playing time after transitioning from quarterback. He's getting his number called in pretty big spots. What's he kind of been doing to earn those opportunities?
Well, I mean, the way we play, we had 12 different guys catch balls, I think. I mean, we're going to spread it around. To me, that is balance. And it makes your practices better. It makes your meetings better. It makes everything better when everybody that's out there on the practice field understands that they got to be ready to go play and perform at a high level. And I think the guys that play with great energy and play good football, typically the ball finds them. And so I just think for Donovan, the biggest thing to me is just he's still really young at the position. He's still learning, and a lot of those skills at the receiver position, those are learned things. That's true craft, and he's behind there. But just every single day you see exponential growth, and him starting to really kind of understand how to, because on top of that, he's a larger framed guy, which now makes those levers a little bit longer, and so that technique becomes even more important. But every single day you see exponential growth in him. You see his skills get better, and he's just going to continue to grow and evolve and be a guy that we can use in a multitude of ways.
Coach, obviously coming through with a lot of successful late-game drives, but maybe starting the game a little bit slower. What do you think you can point to that you'd say you're finding success late in the game that you think can improve at the start?
Well, the ultimate truth of it is every single time we go out there, we try to score a touchdown. So there's obviously a lot more failures than just at the end. I think, like you just could take the last game, for instance. I thought that, I thought I was a little over-aggressive in the score zone. I knew that they were going to move the ball, and not because they're, I don't mean that in any way, shape, form, or fashion as something against our defense. It's just how they play, and we're very similar in style, and so I thought when we kind of got inside the 20-yard line, I got a little over-aggressive, created some, some zeros, and when I say zeros, just zero yardage plays, just taking shots, trying to push the ball, trying to force the issue a little bit. So I had just as much to do with that as anybody else. Now, is there some things that we got to clean up? There's some execution, yeah, absolutely. But just overall, like in the score zone, because we moved the ball pretty rare. I think we had 1 3 and out out of 13 or 14 possessions. I mean, but we move the ball really regularly. It's just third downs, had some nuance issues. I think we finished 6 of 17. If we just do two really small things, we're 8 of 17, and we're right around 45%, which is where you want to be. But I thought my biggest failures was being over-aggressive in the score zone, and then we just got to do a better job on third down, because obviously those third downs become first downs, those first downs become touchdowns. But, part of that's me, and part of that's we got to execute better.
Kind of going back to Donovan, I recognize it's early in, if you want to call it his career, to sort of define what kind of receiver he is. But especially with the big body, that two-point conversion where he's getting held and he just kind of shrugs the guy off and he's wide open. I mean, is that one of the things that maybe differentiates him a little bit, is not just his size, but as he's grown into the position, understanding how to use it, essentially?
Yeah, no, I mean, weight classes exist for a reason. Big guys, typically for the history of civilization have beat up little guys, and so now that's not always the case. There are some wonderful examples of that not being the case, but in most sports, weight classes exist for a reason. I think number one, he's got a great frame. Number two, he plays. And that's one of the skills that you guys have not seen yet, is he plays with the ball above the rim, up above his face mask, as good as any guy I've been around. And I think because of the ball and hand skills of being a quarterback his entire life, and obviously you guys got to see him run last year, is he's a big frame guy that's hard to get on the ground. It's not like tackling a normal wide receiver in space. Just a big physical, and so again, as his frame continues to mature, as his skills continue to mature, he's got a chance to be a really special player for us.
Coach, what has stood out to you about Josh Henderson, and what have you just enjoyed about coaching him?
Yeah, I think, like the majority of the kids on our football team, you go way past majority, but like the kids on our team, they're here because they want to be a part of a really special program and be coached by a guy like Coach Allen. So the types of kids that gravitate to our program, they're already, they're great kids. They're good people, and Josh is the exact same way. He's got a wonderful family. He's been through a lot. When he was at Carolina, they had, I think 3 NFL guys, and so he's waited his time. He was patient. He gets his opportunity, and he's just done a great job. He's solid. He's steady. He's a really special pass protector. Now, that doesn't mean he's without error, but he's a really conscientious pass protector, and he's really starting to learn how to finish runs, and to me, that's – when you put that package together between him and Sean, I think we've got a really special duo back there.
Coach, we didn't see DJ Matthews on the field for that final drive to go down and tie the game. Was that just a choice that you guys made, or were there some sort of predicating reason before?
No, he a little sick, was not feeling very well, and that was not heat related, but like legit, don't feel like just sick. Okay, so we were having to, kind of use him sparingly. But he's fine. He's good. He just legitimately, because there's nobody who wants to be out there more than him. Y'all know that. But he was not feeling very well. We all good? Thank you, guys.